In this episode, you will discover why giving yourself time, truth, and support is one of the most powerful ways to find clarity and confidence in a life or career transition. Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention Podcast, a podcast helping women in career and life transitions achieve clarity on their next steps so they can transform uncertainty into an energizing next chapter. I'm your host, Kavita Ahuja, and the founder of It's My Time Now Coaching. If you're wondering what's next in your career or life, you are in the right place. Through solo and guest episodes, you'll gain practical tips, tools, and inspiration to help you uncover blocks, gain confidence, and be, do, and have what you want. I rediscovered myself after the age of 50, and I know you can too. It's my time now to help you do just that. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back to another mini episode of the Midlife Reinvention Podcast. I hope you're doing really well. After this week's longer episode on International Women's Day and the theme of Give to Gain, I wanted to stay with one part of that message just a little longer, because I think it may be especially relevant to you if you are in a season of transition. If you are anything like so many of the women that I speak with, you are probably someone who gives a great deal of yourself. You give your time, your energy, your care, your intelligence, and your support to the people around you. You may be the one others depend on, or the one who keeps things moving, the one who continues to show up even when you yourself are uncertain. Or if you're tired or quietly questioning what you want next. And yet, when it comes to giving something to yourself, that can feel much harder. It's not because you're selfish, of course not. Usually it's because you've become so used to being the strong one and the capable one, the dependable one, that pausing to ask yourself what you need can feel unfamiliar and sometimes even a little uncomfortable. That is one of the reasons this year's International Women's Day theme feels so meaningful to me. Because in my experience, what you gain in a transition is often directly connected to what you're finally willing to give yourself. And when I think about what tends to matter most in a season like this, there are three things that come up again and again. The first is time. Not endless time and not waiting forever, but enough time to reflect before you rush into the next thing. That might look like not updating your resume the same day you have a bad meeting at work. Or it might look like not saying yes immediately to a promotion just because it looks good on paper. It might look like giving yourself a quiet hour on a Saturday morning to sit with your thoughts and write in a journal or go for a walk, or simply admit to yourself that something feels off. So often when you are in a transition, the temptation is to move quickly because uncertainty feels uncomfortable. You want the answers, you want the plan, and you want relief. But when you move too quickly without that reflection, you can end up building another version of the same life that is no longer working for you. Sometimes what you need most is not a faster answer, but a little more honest space. The second thing you may need to give yourself is truth, and I mean real truth. The truth that maybe you have outgrown a role, even if you're very good at it. The truth that maybe some relationships you are in no longer serve you like they did 10 or 20 years ago. The truth that maybe you're tired of performing a version of success that no longer feels yours. The truth might sound like, I don't actually want the next rung on this ladder. Or, I've become excellent at this, but I don't feel alive in it anymore. Or even, nothing is wrong exactly, but I know this is no longer right for me. That kind of honesty can be uncomfortable because once you tell yourself the truth, you cannot really unknow it. But there is also something deeply freeing about it because clarity begins there. Not in pretending and not in pushing through, but in telling yourself the truth about what you feel, what you want, and what matters now. And the third thing you may need to give yourself is support. This is a big one. If you are someone who's used to being strong and capable and the one others come to, you also may be someone who quietly believes you should be able to figure everything out on your own. But a transition, whether you're contemplating a change in your career or you're experiencing changes in your health or relationships, which you can't explain, those can all feel very lonely when all that uncertainty is just circling around in your own mind. Support might look like calling the one friend who really listens instead of the one who immediately jumps into advice. It might look like finally saying out loud to someone you trust, "I don't think I want to keep doing this." It might look like getting help from a coach or a mentor or a therapist even, so you can sort through what is fear, what is misalignment, and what is genuinely calling you forward. Support matters because it is very hard to hear yourself clearly when you're carrying all of the noise alone. And when you begin to give yourself these things, time, truth, and support, something starts to shift. You begin to move differently. You stop reacting quite so quickly. You stop dismissing your own needs so automatically. And you stop treating your uncertainty as something you have to hide or solve immediately. Instead, you begin listening more closely, and from there you begin to rebuild in a different way. Not from pressure or not from fear, but from alignment. This is something I see again and again in my work. The shift is often subtle at first. It's not usually dramatic. You begin to slow down enough to really hear yourself more clearly. You begin to separate what you truly want from what you think you should want. You begin to reconnect with what energizes you, what feels meaningful, and what kind of life or work would actually feel like yours. And from there, confidence starts to grow. And it's not because everything is solved overnight, and not because fear disappears entirely, but because you're finally moving from a place that feels more honest. So, if you're listening today and you know that you're in a season of transition, I want to leave you with one simple question. What do you need to start giving yourself right now? Do you need to give yourself more time before forcing a decision? Do you need to give yourself the truth about what is no longer working? Or do you need to give yourself support instead of carrying all of this alone? Because sometimes your next chapter does not begin with a perfect plan. Sometimes it begins with finally giving yourself what you have so naturally and so generously given to everyone else. And if you know you would value support in that process, if you want a thoughtful space to sort through what is shifting, what you truly want, and what your next steps might be, I would love to support you. You can book a complimentary breakthrough call with me with a link in the show notes. And we can walk through where you are now, what feels unclear, and what might help you move forward with more clarity and confidence. Until next time, my friend, take good care of yourself.